are watching CIOTV by Enterprise IT World, a production of Accent Infomedia.
So finally, the much awaited moment has come. A very grand welcome to all our esteemed panelists to the grandest channel fiesta of the year, SMEChannels Accelerator Awards 2025. In an era which is dominated by disruptive technologies, it is but more than relevant to talk about disruptive technology. When we go around and see through, when disruption is happening everywhere and dominating our tech space, it is but obvious to take notice. In this panel discussion today, the theme of the discussion sits pretty at the heart of the channel ecosystem. And while we are having a very, star-studded panelist in this panel, it is but obvious that the audience is very eager to get your futuristic insights on the topic. So for this, we have on stage a very star-studded panel comprising Mr. Sushil Dutt, National Business Head, Iris Global, Mr. Gurpreet Singh, Founder and Managing Director, ROPC Network, Mr. Jitesh Chauhan, Managing Director, Rubik Infotech, Mr. Deepesh Kaura, Country Director, India and Securonics, and Mr. Shani Vaghela, CEO, Tech Defense Labs. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Ladies and gentlemen, the term disruptive technology or disruptive innovation first appeared in a magnum opus of a Harvard Business School professor called Clayton Christensen. In his magnum opus, he came up with this revolutionary term, which came to be used by business leaders worldwide to refer to a process whereby smaller companies came up with very simpler, easy to use, and more revolutionary products and business models to take up established market leaders. And since then, it has been probably one of the most repetitively used and most buzzed around term in the business world. So the first question springs from there. We'd like to start, we'd like to open the discussion with Deepesh. When it comes to disruptive technologies, like your edge computing, quantum, sometime back we are discussing about, even AI, and other autonomous platforms. Which out of this would you rate as the most immediate threat to the existing channel business models?
Okay, threat. So just to give you perspective, I am mainly from the cybersecurity background and I handle SOC, SOC as a business. So possibly my answers would be more biased in that direction. So I'll try and be neutral, but as much as I can. So first of all, since this is a channel meet and we have a lot of channel partners as well as customers here, but if I talk from the channel's perspective, my thought processes are a bit different, if I can say, if not weird. I wouldn't say disruption is a threat. I would say disruption is an opportunity. Because if you look at it from a business perspective, not against or not to demean any technology, just to give you an analogy, you look at networking as a technology. Okay, I've been doing networking during my early stages of my career. If you look at networking as a technology, that technology has not evolved beyond a point. There has been switching, routing, firewalls. These are the three main aspects of the networking. Switches, the features development have changed. There is stacking, and then there is 10 gig, and then there is fiber, and there is hub and spoke arrangement, and it ends there, right? It has come to a point where, my 14-year-old kid can go to a retail shop and buy a router, come home and, install it and the internet starts working. It's become so easy. So because there has been no disruption, there is no growth in business. If you look at cyber security perspective, so many new technologies keep coming in, and that keeps giving you more opportunities to do more business. The challenge is to keep it in pace with the development of the new technologies which are coming in. So I would say disruption from a business perspective is an opportunity to go out and sell more. From a cyber security defense perspective, if I take a thought process from the customer side, the challenge from a customer perspective is different, because each time a disruption happens or something new element is coming into the ecosystem, it is difficult from a customer to keep speed with that technology and to incorporate that technology again and again into his setup, because he is still trying to cover up from what he has started to install or he has taken approvals for, and there are still installations and integration issues that he is living with, and he's still not done with it. On top of that, there is new stuff which has come in. अभी उसको भी मैच करना है, फिर वो आएगा, फिर उसको प्रोटेक्ट भी करना है. So those disruptions are a pain, because for a customer to be far-sighted enough that next 3 years this investment, at least on cyber security, will stay, is like betting. You may not be right. So these are two different aspects. And one thing what I have learned, and that is my experience, if I can put it that way. If you look at AI today, you cannot deny it. Okay? If you look at cloud, you cannot deny it. You may criticize it, you may delay it, you may have workarounds it, but eventually you will have to adopt it. So the sooner you accept, the better you will be aligned to the next generation of growth which is coming in, and that will help you keep in sync with the kind of attacks that you will face or the cyber challenges that you will face. Because you cannot fight AI-enabled attackers with legacy technologies. It's not possible. It's like fighting a war with a knife. Those generations and methodologies are gone. Today we are talking nuclear, super nuclear, drones, and attacking without having human interface. So you cannot go with bows and arrows and best of swords, and fight. Nahi hoga. So disruption has to be aligned. Perspectives are different from a channel perspective, and perspectives are different from a customer perspective. That would be the way I would put it across.
I think very well put. Anybody else would like to contribute to this question?
Thanks, everyone. So I would again agree with him that this trip gives you a lot of opportunity. Specifically when we talk about cybersecurity, people talk about AIs, people talk about a lot of things. But then again, security is something which comes on top of it. So it's not something where we should be worrying about disruptions, but we should be looking at across for a bigger opportunity coming forward to us.
Do you find any of these so-called disruptive technologies rather overestimated, or some of them are quite underestimated on the other side? Yeah.
Asking me?
Yeah.
No, it's not, disruptive has not been overrated or anything. It's basically something where it's in, I would say it across in people's mindset, that if we implement AI, what would happen to the security point of view? If we implement cloud, how should we take care about the cloud security aspect part of it? Yeah, look, you're getting an opportunity to implement something where your team is also learning it across. And that's something where we have to take that advantage and see how best can we deliver it across on that front.
Right, yeah, thank you. So, so the next question we shall direct to Gurpreet. When it comes to application of AI, these are the days where most of the vendors are preferring to automate procurement. They're thinking of going online and procuring things. And even customer engagement is also not without engaging through AI. So in this era, there is a school of thought which believes that probably partners would be losing bit of their relevance going ahead. So how do you allay their fears?
First of all, thank you very much for calling me for this panel discussion. I'm privileged to be part of this elite list of panelists. Let's go one step back and actually understand what is happening in the market. The customers are also changing. The customer behavior is also changing. When now the customer is, let's say, buying a PC, so he is no more buying a box to run some application, but actually what he is buying is employee productivity tool. So that's the kind of change which is happening at the customer space also. And that is where we have to also change our behavior. So I will definitely agree to the gentleman that yes, disruption is bringing more opportunities. The good news is that customers are also confused, and it is all about changing fast, adapting first, and then scaling it. So if we actually look at it, I believe that it is better opportunity for us to actually go. So if a vendor is thinking that they'll go direct, and because of these AI tools, the procurement can happen direct and all those things are happening. And we had this presentation from Microsoft also, and this Ankesh from Ingram also said that partner has to remain relevant. And in order to remain relevant, we have to evolve fast.
Would you like to add something to this?
Yeah. So most important example I will like to put over here is, for example, recently we have done a deal with one of our pharma customers, where they asked us to come and they were looking for some servers for some automation process. But when we actually met them and we found that they are looking for a solution which should automate their system also, so we started talking about the security also. We started talking about the stability also. And we actually put this thing in their mind that they should have a stable, secure system, not just a piece of automation. So while that discussion only, we found that starting from data protection to cyber resiliency to the data leak prevention, they were looking for everything. And we actually end up doing 15 technologies, 15 different OEMs in that particular solution. So I'll not say that I challenge it, but I can definitely say that if anybody is looking at that the one OEM will go and meet the customer and he'll be able to provide that kind of solution, that's not even possible. So today, SI is even more relevant than ever. And the overall dependency on IT is increasing. Because of all these automations, these AIs and everything, and as we said, threats are also increasing. The dependency on IT is increasing. So this is the best time for us to actually way forward. And you see, the most important thing is that we can't react. We have to lead the change. So if we are able to lead the change, I believe we'll be at a much, much better position. Second important thing which I like to bring over here is collaborations. So partner has to collaborate amongst each other, because we cannot invest in each and every domain, in each and every technology. So if start collaborating, which we have started as ROPC network, we have set of partners who has expertise in different domains, and we actually partner with them. They have expertise maybe in different geographies, and we partner with them. And that's how we are actually able to bring more accurate, more precise, and the partner were always there for the cost efficiency. That's what we should ride on. So if we can actually bring that cost efficiency into the system, we will always remain relevant. So that's, I believe in.
Very true. Yep. So, yeah, you have a point.
So I think to add up to what he said, what is really required nowadays is not to go as an SI or not to go as a partner just to sell a technology. So what we as a tech D, what we do, we are into cybersecurity and into MSSP space. We go and talk to customer and educate a customer. Rather do a lot of workshops to a customer to make sure that we upsell, we do cross-sell to the customer the new technology. Along with the new technology, we are a service company as well. We are a listed company as well with one of the highest margins in the industry, which is more than 47% is the EBITDA is what we maintain. To maintain that EBITDA, the biggest, I mean, I'll give you a case study of a customer. The customer is a largest maritime company, has been on one of the, EDR solutions, was using a pro, then in second year migrated to enterprise, and then now the customer has good budgets considering the lot of mandates and regulations and even the OT network connected. Here's a sunny, I mean, what to do? So my person went there and, sell the complete version of some of the EDR solutions. So when you have a complete version, you get all sort of flavors of a technology into it, with some amount of, the insurance also coming along with it. My customer is like, now we have to discard the other SOC solutions that we have, and the other 6-7 people that you have deployed dedicatedly, to manage my solutions. Now my question was, if I just give a solution, I'm not going to make a lot of money. Or rather, I'm going to make maybe a 10% gross margin, and the rest of the 60% margins on the services that I'm making right now is definitely going to lose. So rather, I would make sure to lose a customer, or rather bill it to my other entity, which is a less margin entity, and then, target some new upselling to the customer. We were sitting with the customer, did a workshop with the customer, and customer ko bola ke boss bhale complete hai, but understand these are the outcomes what the OEM or a vendor is actually giving it to you, and this is what the outcomes that we can actually give it to you, right? Have call set up with the OEMs, the larger teams, and then finally the customer got convinced. And imagine today, the customer has not absorbed 6 resources, rather he has actually absorbed around 8 resources, and the customer is having a different flavor of CSPM and EDR and the other things. So the thing is, you'll have to go and you have to become a strategic advisor to a customer. That is very important nowadays. And whenever my team comes to me and say that boss, ये customer ऐसा बोल रहा है कि मेरा last year EPS इतना था, इस साल आपने because sometimes the OEMs also come up with a lot of automations on reducing the logs. So यार अभी बोल रहे हैं कि ये तो billing कम करेंगे. So you have to go and make sure to have a strategic, the advisor to the customer, showcase the outcome. So I believe that whole shift which is happening from selling technology or selling services to selling the right outcomes. If you actually define the right outcomes, that these are the 5 outcomes that you are going to get. Are you ready to pay me for all these 5 outcomes? Are you ready to pay me for these 10 outcomes, right? So we do not sell everything, every services in a single thing, but then there's a new thing which we are procuring, we want to sell it. We say that we are not selling a technology, we are selling this outcome, right? And trust me, the customers, when, as rightly mentioned, they are confused what to do, right? When they have a technology, next year there's a new technology. So we say that you keep the same technology, but then you take a new technology, but there is a way to sell, there is a way to showcase outcome. And when you have an outcome-based pricing, trust me, it is one of the disruptive model that we are adopting and making sure to maintain our margins post-listing. Yeah.
Right. That takes us to the next question. It is, as they say, a stitch in time saves 9. So before disruption hits us, if we can get an early warning signal, then probably we'll be better prepared. So the next question centers around that. So what early signals do you believe channel businesses should be, cautious about before disruption hits their business model? I think Dipesh can take it.
Sure. I think, again, there are different dimensions to it. If I look at it again from the channel and the business perspective, instead of following the trend, follow the threats. So if you are following the threats, possible outcomes will be different. The way you will perceive the output, that will be different. I think the bigger aspect, you need to talk more with your customers. I mean, at the founder levels, at the owner levels. Obviously, you get, even I at my leadership level, I get so much bugged with day-to-day transactions and so many other things that we need to manage. But I think taking time out, spending time with your end customer at their understanding their pain points and their way of investment for the next 3 years will help you plan your investment in those technologies better. Third important aspect, you need to follow the regulations. I mean, if I look at it from the India perspective, follow RBI, follow SIDBI, so follow IDRBT, keep in check with the kind of because now in the last 5 years, I've seen India has really become very, very regulated. Government is very focused. The digital trend is very strong. So I think classic example right now is DPDP. If you look at that, there is so much push on DPDP while the policies have been defined, but the right solutions are still not taken shape. So if that can be a classic example, if you take DPDP and you start talking and start building your strategy and business investments, resource investments, solution offerings around that, you would be among the early solution providers to a problem which is very visible, because eventually it will become a defined compliance. Everybody will have to do it. Like now, very recently, SEBI put compliances on all the stockbrokers, whether you're small, big. If you have a stockbroking license, you need to have a SOC. You need to have a SOC provider, and you need to follow XYZ parameters of compliance and submit those reports. Now, if those people have to be in business as customers, they will be depending on mainly MSSPs and security service providers who can help them get their compliances. Same way, if DPDP is an example, if you have already structured yourself prepared to meet that, then that foresight of which direction the businesses are going to go, that investment and that decision making becomes easier. And again, I think it's very, very competitive these days. Business is not easy. We can sit here and give you 100 advices. But the real margins or the money making part is in everything which is upcoming, rather than that has become the saturation point or nearing saturation, because there the competition will be higher. The disadvantages of being in early adopter and early solution provider to technologies is at time the sales cycle and the business is difficult to get in. But those businesses give you better margins. And when that business start coming into regulatory compliances, you are ready with your set of, experience that you can go out and show that I have 4 references, 2 references, 5 references. I have done this, so I should be your first choice. So
I think,
when it comes to compliance, you don't have a choice.
Yes, that's fabulous. I think Sushil want to come into the discussion on this.
No, actually, what I was thinking, so since we started this discussion considering that what we should do to, stop the disruption that is going to happen to this channel fraternity. And of course, I also believe what Dipesh has said, that basically we should consider this not as a disruption, but as a new opportunity. So we have seen in the past that, when mobile came into picture and mobile distribution, people were looking for the mobile distributors and the retailers. So there are not many people who were there in the industry. So it was a kind of, not disruption. We used to call it, replacement of the business. Basically, all the most suffered fraternity at that time was the retailers of the wristwatches. So the wristwatch was going out of the market and mobile was coming in. So, mobile companies, they started chasing the wristwatch retailers and the distributors. So that industry shifted to, the mobile industry now. So similarly, we always have an opportunity whenever the new technology comes into place. So we always have the new opportunities that is there in the place. But at the same time, now we are also considering, with this discussion is about how we can protect this and how we can upgrade this fraternity for the new businesses. I mean how we can, manage the business still with the challenges that we are going to face with these new technologies, right? So ultimately, what I feel is that, machines talk to machines, but the kind of feeling a human talking to a human cannot get. So most important part is that the relationship with your customers, partners, your vendors, your OEMs, that is the most critical part. So what we need to do is we need to maintain that relationship, increase that relationship, because machines will not be able to do that in any case. So, procurement tools and all those things that are coming into place.
Right.
So that's not going to do that. I can call up sir for any kind of deal that I'm stuck with. So he will help me out, not machines, right?
I think that's a very fresh insight.
So
into
this
the
is
entire
very
discussion.
important. That, and second thing is that if you really want to compete, you do not want to upgrade. First thing is that this fraternity needs to upgrade with the new technologies. But in case you still don't want to do that, but then you need to do some value add. Value add is required. One customer should feel that this particular value add cannot be provided to me if I'm going digital, if I'm going to purchase something digitally, or I'm going to procure through the auto procurement tools. So this is the benefit that this particular vendor, partner, or channel partner will give me. So that we need to consider that value add. It could be in terms of anything, maybe delivery capabilities, you could kind of specialized deliveries, loading, unloading, anything. It could be anything. So we need to think about the value adds also. So though we are considering that the new technologies definitely is a new opportunities, we also need to consider the people who do not want to upgrade themselves for the new technologies, what they should do to to face these challenges. So this is what I thought we should talk about also.
I think it brings a very, very interesting point there, and I would again get back to you on that. The emergence of AI has not been an unmixed blessing though. So there has been bloodbath on the job street. Everywhere people are, people are feeling threatened that probably there will be huge job losses. Already the process has started. So while we look at this, a lot of human intensive jobs are being taken over by AI chatbots and different AI applications. So while you look at this, as a VAD, as a value added distributor, how are you moving to upskill your workforce, to prepare them for this, not being replaced? They are in the process of getting afraid of losing their jobs or becoming irrelevant. How are you preparing them for the next phase? Yeah, Sushil. How are you upskilling your workforce in the face of this disruptive technology?
I'm again coming to the same point. In case we are still stucking with the old model of business, then we need to train our workforce as per the new technologies, as per the new skills, because they need to be ready for the competition that we are going to face with the new technologies, right? So those trainings has to be there, and the excellence in terms of the processing of the orders, processing of the invoices, and new upgrading the warehousing systems. All those needs to be there in place so that we can improve the business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I believe educating and training our people is definitely really good. We have to embrace AI. We don't need an AI department within our system, but we definitely need every department to use AI. So either it is marketing or sales or pre-sales or support or logistics, whatever departments we have within us, every department should embrace AI, learn, education has to be done from our side so that they are not afraid of it. So AI is something made by humans to assist humans.
Yes.
So it is not something to replace humans. So we have to understand that AI is not my boss, AI is here to assist me. And if I am actually utilizing, leveraging AI as my assistants, then I will be at a much better position. So that's what we have started doing in ROPC network. So we are actually introducing AI in each and every department, whatever best tools are available. And we have rather told them to, go get those trainings and start leveraging those tools which are supposed to be best for their own departments. And we are having a, kind of departmental battle also, I will say, where we are actually seeing which department is going fast in adopting the new AI technologies. But I will definitely agree to the point of Mr. Sushil also, that we cannot replace some of the characteristics, but some of the human characteristics, which will always remain there. So having that empathy, having that alignment with the customer, that relationship with the customer, meeting customer, that will always remain there. So I believe we are again in a hybrid era where our people have to be smart enough to use the AI and humble enough to use all those characteristics which were always there to maintain those relationships with the customers. Mm-hmm. If AI could do everything, we could have done a webinar and you could have sent awards to us on email or maybe by some portal. But we also know that yes, that human link is very, very important, and we are very happy to be here today. Or we would prefer a webinar. Can I ask from the audience if they are actually alive? Webinar चाहिए था या ये connect चाहिए था हमें? Thank you very much.
So just to add up Gurpreet's point, uh, we cannot replace physical customer visits or physical customer connect with an AI. When you sit across with your customers, you learn a lot of things, you talk a lot of things, and in fact, that's where the first disruption starts, because that's somewhere or the other, that's there into customers' mind that, I have these challenges, how can I overcome that? That's something which comes across when you sit with the customer. That's one. Second thing, today, in most of our organizations, our staffs or employees uses basically AI, I would say chat GPT. For what? Just to reply their emails. That's what I've seen most of the organizations today, the employees do across it. And as Gurpreet added up across that, yes, we should bring in some competitions or something where within our organization, once we are out of disruptive, then only we'll be able to go back to the customer and tell them that, sir, why don't you try this? That's something which will bring in a change in the industry.
Yeah. Sushil wants to add something?
In fact, using the AI, we can also, make a relationship much better with the customers rather than replacing.
So it is rather a model of digilog, right? To say the least, you need digital as well as analog.
Yes.
Analog cannot be
So
replaced.
you need to integrate the channels basically. So I was reading somewhere. So what you can do is you can make the customer, feel and research online, and then you can support him with, purchase, directly.
Nice.
So let him feel that. Let him feel that you can integrate the channels basically.
Very well, yeah.
So I believe I'll end up with one of the example for this question, right? So we as a partners, then there are so many SI partners. There's always been a, scare that, my salespeople would be taken away, from one person to by another person. But at the same point of time, we want to dominate the industry, right? So we as a sales team, we were sitting and I head my sales team. So we were thinking that there are certain RBI, SEBI regulated markets where there are SME customers, and we are predominantly dominating those customers with all audits to program management, all the solutions. But then we realized that the value what a customer is paying and the acquisition cost of that customer and then the delivery cost, today we are able to maintain things, but tomorrow we're not able to maintain the margins. And why I'm talking about margins again, because we as a listed, we have to maintain margins, we have to look at the price, we have to look at the investor interest, everything has to come in this. So we were thinking that what disruption should come. Then we invited a couple of vendors to implement voice agents, vernacular agents, can talk to Kannada, can talk in Hindi, can talk in things. And I said at least the first call or at least the referral calls from one customer to another customer should be done by AI and all, right?
Right.
So you'll be surprised to know this. I saw there are a couple of my sales guys, or rather the pre-sales guys, or rather those people who are generating lead, they started applying online, or they put open to work status on the second day that hamari job jaane wali hai. But then I said with them that AI is not actually replacing roles, right? If you're not going to use this thing, then ultimately you'll be replaced by those particular thing. And what best thing that has happened is the connection to this upskilling, that while this AI has made some couple of thousand calls to the brokers, out of it there are 100 odd leads which we have actually nurtured out, and my guy or the sales guy who has been given the transcript of what is being given by AI and all, I have conducted 10 trainings to make them understand the new SEBI regulations and RBIs and everything. But then, when you conduct a training for all the sales guys, pehle to 1-2 ghante they focus on that, and then finally they forget, right? So right messaging was not going, but because there was a threat that I'll be replaced, they actually read the transcript summaries, and for me it is an upskilling for them, right? So now that they have learned, in and out of this framework, I said now let's start training the voice agent on some other framework so that we make sure that it talks to a customer and talks to this, right? And trust me, it is actually giving a great value to us as well. So I believe that we'll have to be with the technology. We have to use the technology in a widest way. And everybody has taken, their papers or people who have put the resign, their boss will be here and we'll make sure to use it in the best way. So now we are thinking how to make this 1,000 call to 5,000 calls in next another 1 month of the time. Yeah.
Right. I think Dipesh is fixing his eye on the threatscape. And as we know, like any other industry, cyber security is no exception, where AI is not casting its evil impact, or you may say its blessings. So both the ways, it is acting like a twin blade. If you look at the threatscape, it is getting increasingly saturated by attacks that are AI-driven increasingly. So this is coming up as a major disruptive challenge to most of the channel business models. So how do you, what would be your sage advice to the channel partners while it comes to, disruptions because of AI-driven cyber threats?
Okay, couple of things. From a business perspective, I'll try and put my thoughts around this. I'm just searching for the right words. See, from a business perspective, because I've been driving businesses for now quite a long time, and I understand both sides of the stories because I come from an OEM background, and I very closely work with so many channel partners across the country. From a channel perspective or from an overall business operations perspective, I think AI can be used to improve your baseline. What I'm trying to say by that is, again, taking SOC as an example, which is my forte. Everybody is talking that, AI आ गया है तो अभी L1 resource की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है, L1 पूरा निकल जाएगा and all that kind of stuff. One, at the maturity with AI is right now, that cannot happen. But what AI can definitely do is, instead of having 7 people, 10 people doing your L1, that can be brought down to 2 and 3. Okay, it is improving your baseline. It's like, if I could give you a very crude example, if you go back to the 90s, people said once the computers are in, people are going to lose jobs. Never happened, right? Then Tally came in. People thought now CAs will never be required. Tally aa gaya, anybody can do anything. That never happened. And there are hundreds of such examples in technology. It's only about how quickly you adapt, how correctly you adapt, and how you are implementing that in case of your own businesses. So AI is going to help you improve your baseline. That will help you gain better margins. And Sunny spoke correctly about that. You need to have a bare minimum margin to keep yourself growing, not sustaining. Business is about growth, not about sustenance. Not all deals can be on low margins, not all deals can be negative deals just you want to acquire a bigger customer. 1, 2 deals in a year, I think it is more than enough. So use AI from that perspective. Second, amazing work by Sunny again. The way you are using AI to generate leads. See, AI is going to automate a lot of stuff. It is not going to replace. So use that automation engine to get to your end customer faster, to find change in trends faster. So whoever is using AI more intelligently will get to take the benefits better. The others will actually not lose their jobs, they are just getting out of market. You cannot be rigid that I will not do this or I am not ready for this. Whatever comes in, you have to be ready. We are talking AI. Let me just scare you a little more. It is less than 3 years ahead, less than 3 years, I'm saying. You would be sitting on quantum computing. The whole world of technology will completely change, and that will be real disruption. Because computers will be out, laptops will be out, everything will be at the size of a matchbox and relevant. Then how are you going to adopt? So you cannot say no to technology, it's a necessary evil. But you need to be more flexible and faster in adopting. So AI will give you better baselines, improve your baselines and structure on that. That is the only way out. The faster, the better.
That's really very, very prophetic. Yeah.
Just to add to it, that's what I have been saying, that you see partner will become even more relevant now, because all these technologies, what they are bringing more accuracy. I think this is the time to rather increase the overall targets of our people also, and for ourselves also. But I believe so that you see, because once I'm getting a tool which can give me more accuracy and give me more efficiency and at a lower cost, so this is the time to actually, so if we keep evolving, if we keep learning, if we lead the change, I believe these are the best times. And in India, we are looking at the landmine of opportunity. So the guy from Microsoft was also talking about that. There's huge opportunity available in the market. There's huge confusion at the customer's place. Vendors need us because vendors cannot have that kind of spread. So we are even more relevant today, provided we are following all these things. If we are able to follow all these things, if we can be change agents, I am sure that we will be able to do much better business. So in next 3 years, we should be talking about scaling us even at a far better position than what we have been doing.
That takes me to the next question.
Just to add up one point of
sure,
Gurpreet, we need to upskill.
Yeah.
If we don't do that on time, we'll be out.
Yeah, of course.
So
You know what, just to add, I'm sorry I'm interrupting. Even in upscaling, no, again I'm taking a business dimension to it. It is about optimizing the resources and the team which you already have. That will build the confidence because you are taking them higher from what they were doing by not replacing them. And that's a huge motivation. It has worked for me multiple times.
yeah, but then we are not looking for a replacement of our employees. We're looking at across that they upskill themselves, they learn through AI, and they implement it across so that they grow themselves, and the same aspect part of it, the company also grows.
Very much. Deepesh hopped on the, right at the bullseye when it comes to, adopting change and becoming the change agent. But what is important is while you are getting yourself prepared to adopt more disruptive technology so that you are not becoming irrelevant going ahead, what is important is even if to adopt and implement this, you have to cannibalize upon your revenue. So my question would be, how would you, prepare yourself to upgrade yourself, prepare yourself for disruptive technology going ahead without cannibalizing on your revenue? Anyone?
You see, that challenge will definitely be there. So we have to do multitasking. We have to ensure that while we are training our people, we have to be on the ground also. We can't say that I'll shut the business, train my people and then come back. That's not possible. So it has to be parallel. So we have to keep training, we have to be change agents, we have to keep learning, relearning, adapting. That has to be a parallel exercise. It cannot be at the cost of my revenues. So I cannot say that I'll stop the business for some time and then come back. That's not possible. And I'm sure most of our teams, we have people who were ready to change, who have come from screwdriver to the cloud technology. And we have people who are not ready to change and who are still at those levels only. So as he mentioned, we have to actually pick those people who can be the change agents, start with them, and then we can keep scaling. So I cannot retrain my entire team in a day and restart the entire thing. But I have to start change. First of all, I have to start with myself, then with my leadership team, then the people who are actually ready to change and showing them that vision. So if I am able to create that vision for my people where they can see that after 3 years, and we have, I think all of us are here for award today. So most of us have already done that. Our engineers have actually seen that journey from screwdriver to the cloud. Today we don't have people who are using screwdriver anymore. L1 engineers are even not there. There are very less people who go to the field. Most of the job is being done on remote technology only. So we have already adapted that. And because our people have seen that growth journey with us, they'll be definitely ready out of that. But we have to pick few, make those examples, then showcase those examples within system and grow further. That's what we have to do.
See, I'll tell you one more dimension to this. It's not actually cannibalizing your business. Again, it is the way you perceive it. Cannibalization को आप कैसे define करोगे? That maybe your profits are going down or number of deals are going down or maybe some of your customers आपके छूट रहे हैं, आप नहीं उनको cater कर पाए.
I just wanted to refer to the huge amount of investment that a particular partner or business model might warrant in order to adopt and implement, because all disruptive technologies that are coming, they aren't so cheap. So if you are to prepare yourself, it calls for huge investment. So how to strike a balance? So that balancing chord.
Okay, so if you look at it, something that I've learned from some of my leaders and my peers and whatever I've gained experience by working on the ground, I'll tell you, if you are forward investing in technologies for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years ahead, I think the 60-30-10 rule is a good rule. Now, 60% focus on your core business, which is growing, and your day-to-day P&L and everything that keeps the lights on and the AC running. Let me put it that way. 30% is something which you need to start looking at, and when I'm talking percent, I'm talking in terms of numbers, and investment in terms of money, also time. Just in money will not help. That time and focus is also required, because that will structure your program correctly. 30% investment put in something which is just 1 year or 2 year away. And 10% keep as reserve to make sudden changes if the plans are not following correct. That means your 60% has to become 70. You should be able to pull resources, time and money from some pocket, put it back to this pocket so that this business is running. If the 30% part is doing really well, you want to push some part of that 10% reserve back into this 30% and make it 35, 38%. So that will help you balance. But it's not only about money, it's also about the time you want to invest and how you want to structure things up.
Very true. Sushil would probably want to add something. Yeah.
I was just thinking that, in the end, we are reaching a, point where we are saying it's not the protecting the fraternity, it's basically the adopting the new technologies. So that's what I would like to conclude.
So that's what I'm saying. If when you're adopting new, like sir pointed out, right, you cannot shut down this today and start that tomorrow. It has to be it is doable, but it is way too risky. So
earlier we used to plan our yearly planning. That days have gone. Now you have to do quarterly planning. You need to adopt and see what's going wrong every quarter and then plan your year ahead. So that's something which I would say that it's not a disruptive, but yes, that's an arcs of an hour right now, that you cannot have a yearly planning to be done, but it's a quarterly planning which needs to be done.
see, from a channel partner perspective or channel business perspective, I have seen people implement it, and those people have also been successful. Keep one small team as emerging technologies. And maybe it could be one sales guys, 2 sales guys, depending how big the business is and how you're catering to. And keep maybe one techie who understands technology beyond the regular stuff. And let him be focused on that, because that is where the inputs will come in. So having one small segment which is on emerging technologies and give them a target which is good enough to at least recover their expenses and the business keeps going, I think that really helps, because eventually then the emerging technology teams will get bigger and bigger and bigger, because they will start getting into the run rate technology. So that helps. I also do that in my business. I've done it in my earlier roles as well. That helps. I think having that segment who can just take the load off of their regular targets, in any form, and get new dimensions will help. But of course, a smaller team.
You see from here, from this forum and taking the benefit of the day today, I will submit this to the OEM partners also. See, 100 rupees of revenue which we make, we pay 90, 92, 95, sometime even 97 to the OEMs. So investments should also be in the same manner. So investments for change should come from OEMs. The OEMs will lead the change. They will bring the investment. We will definitely have our own investments. And as he rightly put, time, effort, investment. We'll be putting each and everything. But OEMs will be leading this change. And I believe that's quite doable. And I see a lot of opportunity in this.
Yeah.
So I believe, I think the last is, see, knowing your customers are very important, right? I've seen partners, or even I used to be in that category where I was not knowing my customers. When I say I was not knowing my customers, I don't know the mindset of my customer. I categorize my customer into these 3 categories. One category is all a Gartner categories of those customers that you have to bring in only the Gartner technology and he'll adopt, no matter what, right? And then the customers are having the set of technologies which are defined for the procurement for this particular or for this financial year, they'll actually do it. The second set of customers are the customers who wanted a Gartner, but who actually have some niche thing that they are looking at, when they look at a partner, right? So when you become a partner or when you are going as a partner, right, we do not talk about what we are doing or whether we are selling Securonics or whether we are selling XYZ or whether we are selling this. We always talk about what we are good at, what is our niche, and what we are actually doing in this AI and the other thing, on those lines. And there's a niche team which basically focuses on that to ensure that, that we have to be best at it. It could be, OT pen testing, or it could be, the hardware security, or it could be, you can say that the AI pen testing or a AI red teaming or a normal red teaming that we have to be best at. So that is the best way to get even an entry to the customers when the customers are already working with some partners. The second would be once you have a niche which is already defined, right? And once you already knowing that the customers has this many 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, which they need to give. And as I said, the strategic advisor, I mean, for me, it is always a strategic advisor route that I follow, that I don't go and sell. I said, boss, aap baitho, you listen and then we can do things.
Yeah, that is really very, very fresh insight. With this, we have come to the fag end of this wonderful panel discussion. I hope the futuristic insights brought out by our expert panelists must have provided a lot of food for thought for all the audience out here. And the panel discussion makes it crystal clear that defending your business model is not so much about fearing disruption, rather it's more about readiness and adopting change and more of reinvention. Thank you once again. A big thank you to the fantastic audience out here. Thank you all.